Oxford police are trying to bring a suspect back from Texas to face murder charges in his mother's death.
It has been relatively dry across East Alabama for the last couple of weeks, but that is about to change in the next couple of days. We'll have the complete forecast for all of East Alabama coming up.
One local baseball player picked up the highest honors you could last night. We will tell you about it coming up in sports. EAN Local News starts now.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by WM Grocery, located in Heflin, Wadowee, Roanoke, and in Piedmont.
Good evening and thank you for watching East Alabama Now Local News for Monday, June 12th, 2023. I'm Katie Edwards.
And I'm Mike Stedham.
Oxford police have asked for a governor's warrant to return 29-year-old Kyle Thomas Krieger to Alabama as part of their investigation into the death of his mother, Pamela Gray Williams. She was found dead at her home on May 18th, and police believe she and her son had a domestic dispute that led to her death. Police searched for Krieger, but he had apparently fled the scene after the murder. He was arrested the next day near Amarillo, Texas, and he did not agree to be returned to Alabama for questioning. That's when police turned to the Alabama governor's office for a warrant of extradition. Oxford Police Captain Josh Miller tells EAN News that they plan to go to Texas and bring Krieger back as soon as the warrant is issued, and to charge him with the murder when he is in their custody.
Anniston police are investigating the Friday night shooting death of a Talladega man in South Anniston. Lieutenant Tim Suit says police received a call around 10 p.m. to the 300 block of South Layton Avenue in reference to an unconscious male. When they arrived, they found a deceased male lying inside the business. The victim has been identified as 45-year-old Eric D. Thompson of Talladega. The investigation revealed that the victim had been shot. Police are asking that anyone with information about this case call the Anniston Police Department's Investigative Division at 256-240-4000. When we return, Alabama is set to receive its portion of a lawsuit settlement related to the opioid crisis.
Since 1993, WM Grocery has been a major part of our local community. WM offers the very best in fresh produce and an outstanding meat department. WM also has many local products not found anywhere else and fresh sushi every day. If you need an event catered, come see Mrs. K at any WM store. Curbside pickup is also available for your online grocery orders. Be sure to download the WM app for all the deals of the week and shopper rewards. Go check them out today at any of their locations.
We take pride in our community and appreciate your business.
This segment of EAN Local News is brought to you by Waldrop Manufacturing, metal buildings made right here in Calhoun County.
Alabama will receive almost $250 million this year as its share of a settlement between the states and the companies that make and sell opioid products. Attorney General Steve Marshall announced the final approval of $17.3 billion in opioid agreements with drug makers Teva and Allergan and pharmacies CVS and Walgreens. Money is expected to start flowing to the state and local governments by the end of this year. The settlements also put strict rules on the marketing and distribution of opioids to prevent future misuse of those drugs. The ruling will prevent Teva from any opioid marketing efforts, and Allergan cannot sell any opioid products for the next 10 years. CVS and Walgreens have agreed to monitor, report, and share data about suspicious activity related to opioid prescriptions. All of these court-ordered rules are designed to help ensure that another opioid crisis does not happen again.
This Saturday, you'll have a chance to put on your running shoes for a 5K being held to raise scholarship money. The D. Pogue Foundation is sponsoring the race to provide scholarships for young men between the ages of 8 and 12. The 5K begins at 8 a.m. on Saturday at Zen Park. For more information, visit thedpoguefoundation.org.
Well, I hear, Katie, that we've got quite a bit of rain coming up this week, so maybe they may need to bring their galoshes along with their running shoes.
That's exactly right. I guess we should turn to John Holder in the EAN Weather Center to find out the answer to that question. John, are they going to need galoshes instead of those running shoes?
I'm not sure about galoshes, but it is certainly going to be wet across East Alabama over the next couple of days. We'll have a very wet forecast straight ahead.
Well, my name is Mike Craven, and we recently purchased an open carport, metal carport from Waldrop Manufacturing. I have an extra car. We have a very small home, very small driveway, and I needed somewhere just to park another vehicle, just out of the weather. And I had been told by 2 or 3 friends that knew we had recently remodeled a home that Waldrops were the people that you need to go talk to. I was in that area one day and I thought, hey, I'll just stop in, and I did without calling, and greeted warmly, well taken care of. It was just, really the whole process was just good from day one.
After all the storms last night, we started off this morning with mostly cloudy skies across East Alabama. Had some sunshine this afternoon, but the early start of clouds really held the temperatures down today, about 5 degrees below the average. Our high today at 82 this afternoon. The low temperature about where we should be for this time of year. The record high 99 all the way back in 1958. 30 years later in 1988, the record low temperature at 52. And look at our sunset time now, almost 8 o'clock. For the sunset time. Still a lot of daylight even after 8 o'clock at night at this time of year. Weather on your street. Taking a look at Monday night, Rusty Riley Way. That is the main entrance into Choccolocco Park in Oxford. And tonight, an important forecast because the Fellowship of Christian Athletes having their big home run derby tonight, complete with a free fireworks show at Choccolocco Park. If you're going out to check that out, it's going to be very pleasant, dropping down to 59. That will be the low late tonight, but it will be in the 60s. Really no rain in the forecast coming up tonight out at Choccolocco Park. Now, during the day tomorrow, weather on your street is going to take you out to Iron City in eastern Calhoun County. Mandy Lane, right out there by Iron City Baptist Church. High rain chances tomorrow. Won't be an all-day washout. May even have some sunshine at times, but the chance of rain tomorrow about 70 to 80%. And with all the rain and cloud cover, much like today, that will hold temperatures well below the average, only 78 for the high on Tuesday. The rest of the work week is looking like this. Parkwood Drive and Blue Mountain and Anniston. The showers will be thinning out as we move through the week. High rain chances again on Wednesday, but by the end of the week, we'll be back to more typical summertime weather. We'll have just those late afternoon, early evening scattered showers and thunderstorms. Temperatures remain in the 80s the rest of the week across East Alabama, including out in Blue Mountain. You see these high rain chances in our 7-day forecast. High rain chances, a 70% chance of rain both Tuesday and Wednesday. And of course, we could have a strong storm or two during this time period as well. We'll talk about that in a couple of moments. Then later on in the week, those shower and rain chances really going to thin out, as we talked about earlier. Only a 40% chance of a shower Thursday, a 1 in 3 chance on Friday, back to a 50-50 chance on Saturday. And then the big story for the back half of the weekend, the early part of next week, will be the temperatures. We're going to be in the 90s, 90 on Sunday, 93 on Monday, just right in time for the back half of the month of June. Some heat coming back to East Alabama. Let's take a look now at those shower and thunderstorm chances coming up. You see a slight risk from the Storm Prediction Center out in Norman, Oklahoma for severe weather actually coming up tomorrow. That stretches from central Texas in through southern Arkansas, northern Louisiana, most of central and southern Alabama, central southern Georgia as well, even stretching into a bit of South Carolina. Right here in our area, that slight risk comes up to about Oxford, then a marginal risk for the rest of our region. But again, we're close enough that we could certainly see a severe thunderstorm warning. We could see a couple of those tomorrow and on Wednesday as well across East Alabama. The big threats will be damaging thunderstorm winds and large hail. Of course, we'll have some torrential downpours and some thunder and lightning as well. Coming up in sports now with Chase Robinson, Mr. Baseball for the state of Alabama for 2023 is from right here in Calhoun County. Chase?
Thanks, John. Every year since 1999, the Alabama Sports Writers Association chooses one player to give the Mr. Baseball Award to, representing the top baseball player in the state. Last night, the Alabama Sports Writers Association held their award ceremony, and it was Oxford's Hayes Harrison who was awarded that coveted Mr. Baseball award. Harrison was the MVP of the state championship, 6A Player and Pitcher of the Year, Gatorade Player of the Year, and now Mr. Baseball. But Harrison says that blue map is still the sweetest.
I'm just honored to be getting these awards and these things, but I'll tell you the thing that matters the most to me would be the state championship. That's just a little bit sweeter because we've been working for that as a team for so long, and to me that's probably the most important out of any of it. But it's been awesome.
Harrison was a big part of the Yellow Jackets state championship season at the plate, on the mound, and at first base. Coach Brooks also said that more than what he did on the field, he's a great influence for his baseball team.
He's just been a big-time influence ever since he's been, practicing with us as an 8th grader or playing for us as a freshman, and just kind of evolved as that guy who is just locked in on every pitch, locked in on game day, locked in practice. He's locked in the weight room. Every phase of the game. He takes a lot of pride in nutrition, rest, and recovery. He doesn't take any of that lightly, and he knows that every day is going to add up to his career. And he's one of the best that I've ever seen go about the business the way that he does.
Hayes has been playing with the Yellow Jackets varsity team since his freshman season and has been focusing on his baseball career since before that time. He talked to us about some of the things he did to help get him to the point he is now.
With Coach Brooks being such a good coach and coaching us up well, and also I quit basketball my 8th grade year to focus more on baseball. Those two things really jumped my career, I would say, the most out of anything. And then through the high school years, just kind of keeping my nose down and working hard every single day to get to this point and to win a state championship.
This is the second Mr. Baseball for the Oxford Yellow Jackets and for Calhoun County. The first was Matthew Maniscalco, who was the first Mr. Baseball back in 1999. We had a chance to catch up with Maniscalco today, and he is glad to see a player like Hayes Harrison get this award.
That's what I love about awards like this, when they actually give it to a guy who, is a real ball player, not just good on paper and not supposed to be good, but actually makes his team better in every facet of the game. And that's, watching Hayes, I didn't know much about Hayes until I guess he was probably a freshman or sophomore, and then I realized how good he was defensively at first, and then his bat kind of came along, and as he continued to pitch, I always knew he could pitch, but man, he's kind of taking it to a whole nother level.
The Alabama Sports Writers Association announced the all-state baseball team Saturday morning, and a number of local players made the list. In Class 6A, Hayes Harrison, Carter Johnson, Sam Robertson, and Peyton Watts all were first-team All-State, with Harrison being named Player and Pitcher of the Year. Oxford's Nick Richardson was named Honorable Mention. In 5A, Alexandria's Andrew Allen and Tripp Patterson were named First Team. Ian Cartwright and Samuel Henniger were Second Team, and the Valley Cubs' Andrew Allen was the 5A Pitcher of the Year. In Class 4A, White Plains' Ashton Wallace was named First Team, and in 3A, Piedmont had Brody Holmesley and Jack Hayes on First Team, and McLean Mohan on Second Team, and Weaver added Elijah Smith on First Team for 3A. And in Class 2A, Donahoe had Lucas Elliott and Peyton Webb First Team, with Blake Sewell and Nick Thompson on Second Team All-State, with Pleasant Valley's Samuel Duncan Honorable Mention, and also in Class 2A, Peyton Webb was the 2A Player of the Year. And in Class 1A, Faith Christian's Brady Whitworth was First Team All-State. Former Anniston Bulldog and Jack State Gamecock running back Tremaine Pope has been added to Rich Rod's coaching staff at Jack State. Pope played professional football as well for multiple different organizations after his time as a Gamecock. He will join the staff as offensive quality control coach. That's it for sports. Let's head back over to Mike and Katie.
Thank you for watching East Alabama Now Local News.
Please check back with us every weekday evening around 6:30 on either Facebook or YouTube to see what's been happening in your community. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave us a comment while you're there.
That's right. We'll see you back here Tuesday for your news on your schedule.